So you unlucky people get to see my face not once but twice in this week, and I'm away from my computer, so I thought it'd be worth just doing a face video and just doing one instead of not doing one, if that makes sense. And so what we're going to be talking about here is the migrant crisis, or the so-called migrant crisis, of people coming over here in boats over the Calais Dover crossing, or the crossing, the English Channel. And people saying, why don't they just stay where they are? Well, if you look at these countries that have taken them, Greece, Spain, they're stuck in camps or homeless, and there's no opportunities there. And so obviously they're going to try and find a place where they can make a life for themselves. And you can say that they should stay where they are and these countries should deal with them. But if they were coming here instead, as their first country, the first safe country, people would be saying, we can't deal with this, there's too many people. And so I've got a lot of sympathy for countries like Greece, because it's not only just a cash-strapped economy, a cash-strapped country, it's also dealing with, a problem that's been created by essentially other countries, really. If you look at some of the countries that these people are coming from, Syria, Libya, Afghanistan, Iraq, some of these people are economic migrants trying to make a better life for themselves, but at the same time, would you not do the same? I think you would. We see people traveling all over the country just to get work, and so if you want to improve your life, then that's what you've got to do. And these people make incredibly dangerous journeys, but the government have been saying we can't deal with this, it's unsustainable. The fact is, other countries have taken far more people than we have. And, the UK has a history of demonizing people that are refugees. Like we saw this, pre-World War II, where Jewish people were trying to come to the UK, and the UK just, didn't let them come in or demonized them. They're running away from terrible situations, and, no one's, many people are going to lose jobs here. But at the same time, we don't live in a world where, I can't flip the camera, but, if you look up at the sky, I don't need to be worried about when I see a plane or when I see something fly in the air, in other countries, you see a plane, you run for your life because you don't know if it's a Predator drone, if it's, some sort of bomber or a fighter jet coming to kill you. And so, look, I have a lot of sympathy for, these people who are making incredibly dangerous journeys. I think the only thing that we can do is either, well, not just one thing, there's multiple things we can do, is actually have proper, asylum centres and, or detention centres, whatever you want to call them, in the country that help deal with and process people's claims. We can see that the courts in this country are struggling because of government cuts. Struggling massively because of government cuts. And, if you think that these people, should stand and fight, you got your boy Tommy Robinson. He's run away to Spain because his house apparently got firebombed or something like that. And so he's run all the way to Spain, right? He's gone through France. That was the first safe country he could have gone to. He could have arguably gone to Scotland. He didn't. And so I don't see any people, right-wingers, in the comment section talking about, well, they need to stay where they are, go to their first country, or why don't they stand and fight? You ain't going to do that. You man are the same man who are scared to wear a mask, saying, oh, I'm sweating too much. Oh, I can't breathe. No, so shut up, bruv, because if your country was under attack, you would run. Let's not pretend otherwise here, because you've got the Patriot, Tommy Robinson. He's done the same. So the only way we can actually deal with this is if we build proper asylum centres and we figure out where these people are from. And if they're from a war-torn country that's still, where their lives are still dangerous, then you have to do something. Then, maybe you house them here. Maybe you make facilities for them here. And if they're from a country that's not as war-torn, maybe we help these countries with foreign aid and actually create good opportunities over there so they don't have to come here. We see that in America, a lot of the people that go there are people from countries like El Salvador, which has one of the highest crime rates and violence rates in the world. You can't live in a place like that. I think it was Aristotle says that the community that, in order for people to flourish, you need a safe community. Because you can't flourish, and the keys to life are, happiness and self-actualization. How do you do that in a place where it's war-torn, in a country where there's a war economy? I remember playing, Metal Gear Revengeance. In the middle of the game, you realise that, most of the people that join the military aren't, hardened thugs and criminals and, people who want to be there. It's because they don't have a choice. What jobs are there in a war-torn country? Apart from joining the military, there aren't many. So what other choice do you have? So I have a lot of sympathy for people coming here. We live in a country where we helped to create a lot of the problems that these people have now. We were there in the Iraq War. We were there in the Afghanistan War. We were there in the Libya Civil War. We were there. We did nothing to help the Syrians. We did very little to help them. And, that's a civil war that's been going on since 2011. 2011, I think I was sitting my GCSEs. And since then, I've done A-levels, I've got my degree. It took me an extra few years to get them as well. It shows you how much time has gone since then. And, it's the only way to do it, because, I got into an argument with my friend. He goes, why don't we shoot the boats? I'm just like, so you want these people to drown? He goes, well, if it happens, it happens. It's their own fault. They knew the consequences. Like, mate, they're escaping war-torn countries. They're looking for opportunity, somewhere to live, to make their life. You can't talk about Britain being this great country and then expect people not to come here. It don't make sense. This idea that asylum seekers are taking a lot of resources, they're not. They can barely claim benefits. I think they live off something like £5 a day. And if you're illegal, you can't claim benefits. How are you an illegal person claiming benefits? It don't make sense. You get deported. So the argument's just stupid. And the argument that, we need to help people here first is like, well, why aren't you helping people here then? We got a massive homeless problem. Where are you when homeless people need help? You got Tories celebrating things like food banks. Where's the money for these people to get help? Because we saw them being housed in places like hotels that weren't being used. Why can't we house them permanently? Why can't we build facilities for homeless people? Because I think they did studies in Canada where it's actually cheaper to house them because of all, the crime and all the help that they need when it comes to like kicking drugs and all those things. It's cheaper. So why aren't we helping them? And these same people who won't help them, they'll be like, why don't we help homeless people? Why don't we help homeless veterans? So when homeless veterans need help, where you at? Can't see you, bro. Can't see you. Where are you? So it's just embarrassing that people come up with these arguments, and the government are pointing to migrants being the main problem and stuff like that. Right wing press is like, mate, we've got what is it 60,000 coronavirus deaths we've hit? I think it's like 40,000. I can't remember what the number is. Cases are on the rise now. If you look at the FT numbers. And people are like, well, if you test more, obviously you're going to find more cases. But the dream situation is you test more and you don't get more new cases. So the R rate's going down, but we know the R rate's going up because they're actually releasing the numbers and they're actually telling us. And so they failed on coronavirus. They failed when it comes to, we're going to be the worst hit G7 country, I think. We have mass unemployment. Our GDP has shrunk by about 20%. Other countries about between 10 and 15. Ours is the worst because we took the longest to shut down and we didn't do it properly. And we're going to get hit with the second wave. It's going to be brutal. Spain already getting hit by it, and we'll see what happens to Spain. But we're gonna suffer the same, and it could be worse here because people aren't taking this seriously. People aren't wearing masks. People aren't being socially distancing. It's just a horrible situation to be in. A lot of people are struggling now. Unemployment's going to rise massively. In America they're talking about 1930s level of unemployment, Great Depression. That's crazy. That's stuff you read about in books. That's stuff you only want to read about in books because that situation was horrible. And it took a lot of hard work and a lot of good politicians to get out of that mess. FDR, when it came to dealing with, Japanese internment camps, he was a horrible person. But when it came to dealing with the Great Depression, he did okay. He actually put together plans and he actually tried to help people. And what's this government going to do? They're going to do more austerity. They're going to cause more problems. It's just not on. And what they'll tell you is, we don't have money to help you poor people. But what they do is they don't tax rich people enough. They let corporations get away with stuff. They wasted so much money with some of these companies when it came to dealing with coronavirus. Randox got wasted, I think it was over £1 million with them. There were so many, with the coronavirus test kits. Serco are making bank out of, getting these contracts with track and trace that you can't even do properly. And it's just bad, and Serco, what they've done is they've just outsourced a lot of the work to, other companies, other agencies to do it. So they just take a slice at the top and boom, easy money. And that's what's happening, absolute corruption. And they tell you they ain't got money to help you. They ain't got money to help your community, but they got money for these guys, money for Tory donors, money to make tax cuts. But they ain't got money to help you, have they? And then they tell you blame immigrants, it's their fault. Blame, they've taken your jobs, they've taken your benefits. It's like, really? Have they though? Was that really nailed on to get yours? It's tough, but this country has a history of demonizing migrants and refugees, and I hope that changes soon. And Starmer, get off your backside and actually do something because you are doing a very, very poor job. You're doing a very, very poor job, and this video is going on quite long. But honestly, the only way to solve this is A, stop bombing countries. B, if you think regime change is the answer for a country, you have to put in procedures like we did post Germany World War II, where we helped rebuild the country. We had troops there. We had a lot of economic support for them. That's what you have to do. If you don't do that, then you're going to get failed states, Iraq, Libya. massive refugee crises, terrorists on the rise. More groups like, maybe not as bad as ISIS, but it wouldn't take that much. These countries are big and the governments are weak. What do you think is going to happen? The rise of people like warlords and more poverty, more danger, more people running away. How different must be? I see, if you're a person from the Middle East and you run away to here, to Europe, it's a very different country, very different language. And that's the journey that these people make because they want a safer life, a better life. What do you do? And so, look, I'm going to leave it there. Like I said, just in conclusion, the keys are build proper asylum centres in the UK and deal with people's applications properly, and help the other countries that are dealing with a mass amount of refugees, like Greece, Spain, Greece. What's the other one, man? France. All these countries, help them so then people don't have to come here to seek refuge because the application process is taking too long. And stop bombing countries. Stop bombing countries and actually help some of these governments out. If you live under a tyrannical government, you're going to run away because you can't. It's very hard to beat the government. It's very difficult. And so, actually help these countries. Stop propping up dictators. Stop arming dictators. Like, what do you do if you're a person in Yemen right now and your country's being bombed by Saudi Arabia and you need to run away? We're helping that. We're helping their country being destroyed. We're helping a genocide by selling these people weapons. And so what do you expect? You can't get mad at people for running away and seeking refuge, can you? You'd be like, well, you should stay there and fight. Like, how do you... Yemen's one of the... I think is the poorest country in the Middle East versus one of the richest countries in the Middle East. They have no chance. So, what else you do but run? You have no option. Like I said, your boy Tommy Robinson, he ran away. He ran away. If someone asked in his house, firebombed his house, put his kids in danger. How's he meant to fight back? So he ran to Spain. Drove through France, could have stayed in France, didn't, because he had an opportunity in Spain. And if these asylum seekers, if their family in this country and their family members are willing to help them, help look after them, to help them build their lives, then we should absolutely let them in. Absolutely let them in and make sure they have the help and support they need to build their lives back up. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.